All right, so we were talking about pneumothorax, right? So yes, that sounds horrible. Okay, so spirometer. So sometimes in the hospital, to get someone to practice and get their breathing exercises going, they use a spirometer. Usually they do that after surgery also, because after surgery, people have a higher likelihood of getting clots in their lungs. So they really want to get that those exercises going. Thoracentesis, also called thoracocentesis. If there's extra fluid, now remember, there's a membrane here. It's called the visceral membrane, and then there's a parietal membrane here. If there's extra fluid, they can suck that fluid out, and that's called thoracentesis. Tracheostomy, we've heard of tracheostomy. Sometimes, for whatever reason, a person's having a hard time with breathing and they have to get that. So tracheostomy, surgical creation, new opening in the trachea, which sounds really, really horrible. All right, so now drugs. There's a picture in your book. It is on page, it's really actually cool because they talk about different medications that they can use to help with breathing. And this is on page 388. Let me look if there's a picture here. Yes, this is good. So, drugs used to treat respiratory disorders, antitussives, right, suppress cough. So there are things that they could do to help chemically to help with suppressing a cough. Here, mast cell stabilizers inhibit histamine. Remember, histamine is what causes inflammation. Mucolytics loosen mucus. So we want to loosen that mucus so it doesn't get gunked up in there and cause more of a hard time getting that oxygen across. Glucocorticoids suppress inflammation. Expectorants produce thinner mucus. Beta adrenergic agonists dilate bronchi. So these are different things that can be used. So if I go back, and this is on page 388, 389. So antihistamines. So against the inflammation, decongestion. So against the mucus, right, and all the congestion. Antitussives, right? So we're talking about, coughing, right? And there are non-narcotic and narcotic, right? So trying to help with the coughing reflex and suppressing it. Expectorants, we're talking about removing mucus. Mucolytics, right? Breaking up that mucus. Bronchodilators, exactly what it says, kind of opening up those air passageways. Glucocorticoids, again, those could be used to treat asthma and inflammation. And then anti-tuberculosis agents, because TB is a horrible, right? It's very, very contagious, and it's actually caused by a bacterium. And we treat TB with antibiotics, so anti-tuberculosis agents. So here it shows, right, the different drugs that we can use to help with respiration. So some diagnostic tests, right? So here, acid-fast bacilli, looking to detect that bacterium for TB. Okay, presence of this enzyme, okay, for streptococcal infection, blood gases, bronchoscopy, culture sputum, we're talking about spit, right? Culture, doing a culture, looking for bacteria, laryngoscopy, right? Visual examination of the larynx, pulmonary function test. So looking at the diffusion of oxygen, carbon dioxide, rhinoscopy, looking at the nasal passages. And so now when I was talking about the volumes, the tidal volumes, and I said it really helps to see a picture. So here, for example, it says as part of a pulmonary function test, a spirometer is being used to check various lung volumes. So they would tell the person, just breathe. Then they just breathe. And if you look, these up, down. These are normal breathings. That's the tidal volume, just the regular volume of breathing. And then they might say, okay, take your biggest inhale. That's inspiratory reserve volume. They might say, take your biggest exhale, expiratory reserve volume, and then the residual volume is what's always left over. So getting a graph of these volumes is really helpful in looking at that. Some abbreviations in regards to the respiratory system. All right, we are finished for this chapter. Again, I'm going to put a couple of videos, one about COVID-19, coronavirus, and the other about what it actually does. So increasing that mucus and then causing that issue with gas exchange, and why do people end up having to be on respirators? Because they can't get that air in there. And without the respirators, those people would actually die. We are really in unimaginable times that this is happening. But it's happening, and it's happened before, right? We've had different types of pandemics before, and here we go again. All right, so please stay safe. For this week, we will be having a test. All right, just like before, we'll do chapter 11, and then I'll open up the test later on in the week. I hope you're well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.